There's a strange kind of visibility in choosing not to be seen. In a world where faces are brands and smiles are content, the person who never posts their own photo looks almost out of place. Maybe that person is you. Maybe it's someone you quietly wonder about. If you've ever felt a quiet resistance every time the camera points at you, you're not broken. Your mind might be trying to protect something precious. Psychology suggests that not posting your face isn't just a random habit. It often reflects how you relate to yourself, to others, and to the idea of being watched. Most timelines are filled with birthdays, gym progress, vacations, mirror selfies. So when someone chooses to stay almost invisible, people often assume they're shy, boring, or have something to hide. But here's the part most people miss. Sometimes the decision not to show up can say more about identity and emotional depth than constant exposure ever could. Some people simply value privacy the way others value attention. They feel a deep need to control who has access to their image, their stories, their life, not because they hate people, but because being seen has never felt entirely safe. For others, it's less about fear and more about inner stability. Research on what psychologists call self-concept clarity has found that people who have a steadier sense of who they are often less dependent on the reactions of others. They don't need a digital mirror to feel real. Their sense of I am doesn't rise and fall with likes, comments, or silence. Think about this for a moment. When you post a photo, you're not just sharing an image. You're opening a tiny window and asking, even if quietly, do you see me? Do you like this version of me? Now imagine someone who grew up feeling judged, misunderstood, or constantly evaluated. For them, that window can feel like a spotlight. Psychology often observes that people who've experienced harsh criticism or unstable relationships may subconsciously protect themselves by reducing how much of their life is available for others to judge. Not posting becomes a soft boundary. You don't get to define me anymore. There's another layer too. Studies on social comparison show that when we see endless photos of everyone else's best moments, we start measuring our worth against them. Some people feel this happening inside their chest like a slow, quiet ache. So they step back, not because they don't care at all, but because they care enough about their mental space to limit how much they feed that endless comparison machine. Psychology also talks about an internal versus external way of evaluating yourself. Some people are performers. They feel real when others are watching. Others are more like deep thinkers. They feel most alive in private conversations, unfinished journals, walks alone at night. They might still use social media, but they won't turn their life into a show. Their milestones often happen in silence. New habits, small healing, private victories that never become posts. Here's the strange thing. Sometimes the person who never shares their face is incredibly insecure, afraid of criticism, haunted by old memories. And sometimes that same behavior comes from quiet confidence, from knowing I exist even when no one is looking. Often it's a mixture of both, wounds and wisdom living side by side. If you're someone who rarely posts, maybe a part of you is tired of performing. Maybe you're learning that your life doesn't have to be proof of anything, that you can belong to yourself without turning yourself into content. And if you know someone like this, their silence might not be emptiness. It might be a choice, a boundary, a soft declaration. My life is allowed to be mine. Did this resonate with you? Have you ever chosen not to share, even when everyone around you was posting everything? If you'd like to keep exploring the quiet psychology behind everyday behavior, you're welcome to stay, subscribe, and keep reflecting with us.